Today in Microsoft Flight Simulator, we're going to intercept my friend's real flight as represented in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, let's get into it. It is time for takeoff. The mission, interception of Delta Flight 1746. I let the tower know I'm taking off and start taking off. They give me clearance. They acknowledge me and I am lifting off to find my friend in the skies. A lot of this time was spent looking around and trying to find the airplane. I was using one that I saw a little bit ahead of me on my map to the right. I was using FlightAware, the app, and cross-correlating the flight paths and everything else. And I did eventually find it, and I was able to see it in the sky. But this time was just legitimately spent looking for it. So that's why I sped this up here, because it's pretty boring. But this was a lot of it, because I had trouble in the past intercepting it by setting it as my destination to leave from. And I found it a lot easier to do this just taking off from an airport and finding it. After quite a bit of flying, I was really close. I could see the jet stream and go in and out of it. I'm going to fast forward till I get real close to the airplane just for viewing pleasure. See you in a sec. Okay, I'm back, and now you can see the actual airplane. It's a bit buggy, and Indianapolis Air Control is yelling at me, saying they have the right of way, and I'm just a tad too close, and I keep asking me and the Delta flight if we can see each other. Obviously, that's not real Delta colors, but the game doesn't have that, and I didn't buy any Delta colors. That's the closest thing we got, and it's the closest thing to the real aircraft in the game that they're using. And I'm just going to cut to the next approach of the aircraft. We are back on another approach, this time on the left, where my friend's seat was located. This way he could have seen the flyover if he was actually in the aircraft. After my last attempt, I greatly overshot the aircraft, so I basically cut my engines, and it went right past me near the left window so my friend could see me if it were real life. I then kicked everything into high gear, and we did a lot of back and forth like this for the next little bit, and I'll just cut to all the attempts. This attempt here was one of my favorites so far, because you can see the streaks behind the engines. We flew right next to it, kind of crashed into it a little bit there. We went under it. It just looks amazing. If only I had my landing gear up, but at this point of time, I didn't realize I still had it down. Oh, we went up, and it went under me. Air traffic control was yelling at me. They weren't happy. I went below, through the tail smoke, if that's what you want to call it, with a bunch of scenic views. It's just all around amazing. But then it got a bit ahead of me, so I'll cut back after we get a bit closer. But here's a bit of a perspective of what it looked like inside the airplane and me following the airplane from inside the cockpit. It is a bit harder to see, but let me fast forward until we get close to the aircraft. This approach was done mostly in the cockpit, and I am not the best flyer, and I wanted it to look like cool and like the clouds and like a real fighter pilot, so I was going back and forth, whatever, and I'm not the best. But It is a really nice one up with the left here. We go right past my friend's window, which is really cool. And I fly forward for a little bit and finally realize that my landing gear has been down this entire time, and I never put it up when we took off, which would have made everything look better and just look nicer. I mean, we got passenger jet over there, a fighter jet over here. Just all in all, it looks amazing. And some nice flying out here. This part here is just a lot of me playing around in the smoke thingies, engines, whatever that comes out behind an airplane. And the turbulence behind that and all that stuff. Just messing around, doing stuff like that. And then I do actually get an approach right next to the airplane, which looks really, really nice. I get a lot of nice, beautiful side-by-side flying with the aircraft that my friend is on outside his window. All of this beautiful flying and scenery was interrupted by another aircraft that went under my friend's plane. And if this is as accurate as I think it is, that actually happened. Like, because it uses real data, which is really cool. So I decided to just peel off for now, because I've been following him for quite a bit of time, going through his smoke, maybe take a little peek at that other aircraft over there, and fly off into the sunset. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.